I plea, oh Jah, a song for my land. I want everybody, get up out your seats. Put your hands in the air like this. Help me sing. Rose up early this morning to the sounds of crying. Another mother shedding her tears. Oh, Jah, why all the pain and suffering? Why all the senseless killing? Could it be that nobody cares? So no. So many sons lost in the slaughter, blood running in the streets like water. A gun in hand knows no friend. No, warmongers selling death in my land, getting rich off the souls of the children. Can you tell me when will it end? Sing, how many more Jah must carry this load? Oh Jah, how many more Jah before we trot down Zion Road? How many more? Sing wayo, wayo, wayo. Come on, let me see those hands. Heavenly Father, won't you hear my plea? Send a helping hand for the country. In man, there's no solution. No, I'm begging for the children's future. Oh, Jah, drugs got them by the collar. How can we stop this mind pollution? Many starving and too many hungry, too many homeless souls in the city. It seems like there's no, too many big shots with too much connections, too many loopholes in Babylon system. Oh Jah, how can your children go? Sing, how many more Jah must carry this load? How many more Jah before we trot down Zion Road? What you? Let me see those hands. Let me see the hands. If you care about our children, get up, let me see you. We can't go on each day, no. We got to find a better way. People, it's up to each of you to help our children through this cruel and torrid life, cause it's we who created the strife. Say, how many more Jah must carry this load? How many more before we drop down Zion Road? Oh, how many more? How many more? How many more? Hey, how many more? How many more? Oh, yeah. Send a helping hand for the country. In man, there's no solution. No, I'm begging for the children's future. Oh, Jah, drugs got them by the collar. How can we stop this mind pollution? Many many homeless souls in this city. It seems like there's no. Too many big shots with too much connections. Too many loopholes in Babylon system. Oh, yeah, how can your children cope? Sing, how many more, yeah, must carry this load? How many more, yeah, before we trot down Zion Road? What you let me see those hands. Let me see the hands. If you care about our children, get up, let me see you. We can't go on each day, no. We got to find a better way. People, it's up to each of you to help our children through this cruel and torrid life. Cause it's we who created the strife. Say, how many more times must carry this load? How many more times before we drop down Zion Road? How many more? How many more? How many more times? Hey, how many more? How many more? Oh, dear. Won't you hear my plea? I'm down on bended knees. Oh, yeah. How many more? How many more? I said I rose up early this morning to the sounds of crying, another mother shedding her tears. Oh, yeah. How many more? 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 Thank
again and again, again and again. How many more? How many more? Again and again. Rose up early this morning to the sound of crying. Another mother shedding her tears. Why all the pain and suffering? Why all the senseless killing? Could it be that nobody cares? Oh no, oh no. So many sons lost in the slaughter. Blood running in the streets like water. A gun in hand knows no friend. Oh no. Warmongers selling death in my land, getting richer off the souls of we children. Can you tell me When will it end? Let me recite those last couple of lines. Warmongers selling death in our land, getting richer off the souls of we children. Can you tell me, when will it end? How many more must carry this load? How many more, O Jah, before we track down Zion? Heavenly Father, won't you hear my plea? Send a helping hand for the country. Demand this, no solution. I am begging for the children's future. I am begging for the children's future. Oh Jah, stop. How can we stop this mind pollution? Too many starving and too many hungry, too many hopeless souls in the city. It seems that there is no hope, no hope. Too many big shots and too many connections, too many loopholes in Babylon system. Let me recite those last couple of lines. Too many hopeless souls in the city, too many starving and too many hungry. It seems like there is no hope, no hope. Too many big shots and too many connections, too many loopholes in Babylon's system. How many more? How many more? How many more? I know sometimes I exhaust you. I know sometimes I frustrate some of you. I may even turn off some of you because my politics are not normal politics. I know. But my political upbringing takes me to no other place than this place. I had a long conversation last night with my spiritual, my political, my cultural elder, Baba Yusi Kwayano. He's been trying to get me since he got back. We kept missing each other last night. We talked. And I'm referencing that conversation to take us to what I want to talk about tonight. And he said he had been trying to get on to me for me to explain to him what went on at the United Nations last week. Kwayana is a very particular chap. He has no shortage of people who keep him abreast of what's going on. No shortage. He knows what's going on. But he's very careful about certain things and about who he wants to hear from on certain things. And he rebuked me for keeping him waiting for 48 hours. I brought him up to date with what happened at the United Nations. And he asked me to tell him what each person said, and I had to go in details. And I ended with what Vincent Alexander said. And when he heard that, he said, mm-hmm. Those of us who know Kwayana, when he said, mm-hmm, you know what it means. And then he spent the next 2 hours talking to me about Guyana in the 1950s and the 1960s. And every time I talk to him, and in the years, this is about my 1,000 conversation. And every time I talk with him, I learned something new. And one of the things I learned last night, he reminded me of a communication between himself and Dr. Jagan. I had known of that communication, but what he told me last night was something else. Bear with me, bear with me. In 1963, he said Dr. Jagan wrote to him or contacted him, asking him to go see him to talk about the future of Guyana. And he said he replied to Dr. Jagan by saying, when you stop leading a racial party, you can come to me and let us talk about the future of Guyana. And he said he ended the communication by telling Dr. Jagan, and I'm quoting him, that all I have is my little black soul. All I have is my little black soul. Kwayana told me about that communication, and I read about it in a book, a compilation of interview by Dr. Bilbar Singh. And Mrs. Jagan had referred to that communication in which he said that Kwayana referred to Jagan as a racist. And I've heard other PPP people, Ralph Ramkaran and Ravi Dev and others, who said that Kwayana thought that Jagan was a racist and called him a racist. He said, I said, when you stop leading a racial party, you can come and we can talk about the future of Guyana. All I have is my little black soul. You all bear with me. I am getting there. All I have is my little black soul. You see, in politics, we often take the narrow interpretation of it. Office, votes, presidential candidate, 60-40 seats. That's the narrow definition of politics. The broader definition and the broader interpretation of politics is the politics that go beyond the vote, beyond the office, and speak to the soul of the people. I rose up early this morning not to the song of the leaders, not to the song of the leaders. I rose up this morning to the sound of crying, another mother shedding her tears. Oja. When my elder Kwayana spoke to Dr. Jagan in 1963, he was saying to him, politics, I don't want to talk about election and all those other things. I want to talk about the crying of the mothers, because all I have is my little black soul. I want to talk about the soul of our people. I know Kwayana well. And I know that he did not volunteer that piece that he never told me all those years, my little black soul. I know he did it on purpose. He had been calling me for 2 days and he kept me saying I was teaching, and then he called and so on. And I knew he wanted to say something to me that was relevant. All I have is my little black soul. Politics are more than the obvious. Only 2 days ago, we got the American State Department, their report on narcotics and drug trafficking and corruption, and they paint a gloomy picture, an accurate picture. God bless them. But they snuck in there that the government of Guyana does not encourage corruption and drug trafficking. And as Kwayana would say, that's what I said. Now, everything about that report points to government collusion, government involvement. The government is at the center of everything the Americans have in that report. But the politics does not permit the Americans to say the government encouraging it. And that is what I mean by minimalist politics. You point to the government guilt, but then you say the government is not guilty. That man, Ravidev, last week said, it doesn't matter if the PPP intends to fool black people. It doesn't matter. What matters is their action. And he said his Hindu philosophy teaches him that. What that man in effect said is that if somebody intends to kill you tomorrow, and they feed you tonight, fill your belly with food tonight, it doesn't matter that you will die tomorrow. What matters is that they're full in your belly tonight. That's what that man Ravi Dev is saying to my people. My black souls. That it doesn't matter if the PPP wants to kill you tomorrow. What matters is that they will fill your belly tonight and go present your belly to be filled. But tomorrow you will be killed. I say to Ravi Dev, I will have no more public appearances with you. I am announcing it here tonight. So many of you have been telling me over the years, Dr. Hines, where you going and talk with those chaps for? I knew you all were right. I knew. But I decided, let them hang themselves. You are telling my people, it doesn't matter that your people, Ravi Dev, your government, your East Indian government will kill them tomorrow. What is important is that we will feed your hungry belly tonight and kill you tomorrow. And you must line up for that. Ravi, all I have is my little black soul. And my little black soul says it's over. No more public appearances with you. I do not care whether you repent 1,000,000 times. These black souls have been telling me for the last 5 years, Dr. Hines, do not go there. I knew they were right. I ought not to have gone there. But I wanted to give them a chance to prove you all right. You see, when I call them lick bottoms, those Bicos, black in color only, Dr. Terence Campbell was on that program, and Dr. Campbell, after saying that the language was jarring, and I understand, but Dr. Campbell, unless he was living somewhere else, he would have heard that language all his life. But anyhow, I understand that. But he went on to say something profound. He said, the diabolical use of power by the PPP has driven Dr. Hines to use that kind of language to describe a phenomenon. And Freddie Kissoon and Leno Craig and Wells came down on Terence. What diabolical use of power? We're talking about what David Hines says. What diabolical use of power? You see, these people are telling us, because they dare not go to Indian people and tell Indian people what they're telling black people. They're telling us there is no relationship between things and among things. So there's no relationship between action and intention. Your intention to kill me is totally separate from the process you use to kill me. That's what they are telling black people. They are never going to go and tell Indian people that. Never. But they're going to tell African people that because deep within their soul, our little black soul is not a soul. We are soulless. And so if we are soulless, we are judged by different standards from those who have souls. The unfortunate thing is that in the context of the narrow politics, most of our black leaders fall for that. I don't think our black leaders believe that, but they fall for that methodology in which politics are not a holistic endeavor. I said last night, this coming election for African Guyanese is a referendum on the condition of African people. It's something different for Indian people. I don't care how you all tell me Indian people suffering too, and I agree Indian people suffering too. But their sufferation is done within a context that is different from black sufferation. And our leaders often miss that. So they mix up everything together and end up saying nothing. I am sure the coming election is a referendum for East Indians. But it's not a referendum about their soul. Maybe a referendum about prices and cost of living and rice prices and so on. I'm sure. But it's not a referendum about their soul. For us African people, it's a referendum about our soul. It is not well with our soul. It is not well with our soul. And if we tell ourselves that it is well with our soul, we are being dishonest. When we hold that ballot and we put it in that box, it's not just a vote. It is not just about who becomes minister and who becomes president. It is about the preservation of our little black soul. Unfortunately, the burden of saying that to you all has to always fall on a tiny group of us. And I happen to be part of that group that have to say that to you all. That when you all go to put that ballot in the box, it's about the police. Most often the black police not shooting your children down. It's about that black police force not covering up the murder of your little daughters. It's about your little black soul. Rose up early this morning. Rose up early this morning to the sound of crying. Another mother, another father shedding their tears. Little 11-year-old little black soul snuffed out. I do not know the behind the scenes, what happened. What I do know, and what we all do know, is that the police gave an account of what happened yesterday. And today, after the body of that little child was found, the police said, what we said yesterday was not true, which means what we said yesterday, we lied to you all. And the question is, why did the police lie? John King, the Bajan singer of that song, How Many More, he said, it seems like there is no hope. No hope. Too many big shots and too many connections. Too many loopholes in Babylon system. Those of you who know the Bible will know that Babylon is a place. But those of you who know Christian theology and the black interpretation of Christian theology know that Babylon is a phenomenon, is a system. Thanks to our Rastafarian brothers and sisters. Babylon is a system, not just a place. This PPP is the personification of Babylon. Why did the police lie yesterday? Too many loopholes in Babylon system. I caught a little bit of Jack Dio this morning. Crocodile tears. Oh, the police seems to have misled us and we need answers. Jack Dio, go to France. I don't mean France as in the French people place. Go to hell. The police behavior is a direct and indirect result of your government's weaponizing of the police force against little black souls. Under your government, the PPP, the police has license to crush little black souls and kill little black souls. Robert Nesta Marley, I shot the sheriff. Sheriff John Brown never give me a chance. Every time I plant a seed, he crushes that seed. Why, I don't know. Your government, the PPP government, has given the police force a blank check, an open license to murder black souls. On Monday, they shot one little black soul. On Tuesday, when other black souls take to the street, they shoot another black soul. On Sunday, As young black souls are burying their dead, they threw tear gas at little black souls. Jagdio, where the hell are you living? Why are you attempting to fool black people? If that police, those policemen and women, know that the powers that be will not tolerate them crushing black souls, they will not crush black souls. Did the police kill young black men during the Granger period? Yes. Did the volume of killing of young little black souls decrease on the Granger? Yes. Did extrajudicial killings of little black souls decrease on the Granger? Yes. Because that very police force knew that there would be consequences for their actions against little black souls on the Granger. Granger didn't have to say it. But the police force knows that the PPP government views black souls in a certain way. I cannot know whether they hate black people. I don't know that. I'm not in Jagdio head and her finale yet. I don't know whether they hate black people. Justice Kwayana didn't know whether it was in Jagan's head. What he told Jagan is, when you stop leading a racial party, you can come and talk to me about the future of Guyana. He knew that the PPP was a racial party in 1963. And in 2025, I know that the PPP is a racial party. And the police know. And the police know that the price of killing black people under the PPP is non-existent. You do not pay a price. Under pressure, they're going to arrest and charge the two policemen who shoot them boys in Linden. But as we saw with Quindon Bacchus, as we saw with the case of Orrin Boston, nothing will come of it. Too many big shots and too many connections, too many loopholes in Babylon's system. The Americans said, the police don't charge people for drug trafficking, or if they charge, the people just get off. Too many big shots, too many connections in high places. That young lady, that young child, not lady, that little child was killed by the PPP regime. The police obviously cover up whoever killed that child. So there's a connection between the killer of that child and the police, and there's a connection between the police and the regime. Whether they killed that child, as some people are suggesting, as sacrifice, you know, and this society, Guyana, you know, we pay for what happened with us, you know. Everybody knew that part of what happened with them Henry boys is that they were murdered as part of religious sacrifice. I am willing to say that. But if we say that, we're going to be offending the Indians. And if it is true that that's what they do with this little child, those of us who didn't speak up and say it openly when they did it to them in Ribeyes, we have contributed. Yes, there is such a thing as sacrifice, and using black people as sacrifice. And you all know it. But we can't say it because we will offend Indians and we will lose Indian votes. That is what angers me a lot about Guyanese politics, and sometimes lead me to separate myself from my black brother politicians. Because they're prepared to silence black suffering for a vote. And I am saying, I want the vote and I want an end to black suffering. I am not saying I want the vote and so I have to silence black suffering. I want the vote and I want an end to black suffering. Judge me on that. Give me your vote based on that, or keep your vote. If you want to give me a vote on the understanding that I will silence black suffering, keep your vote. Keep it. I'd rather stay in opposition. Because all I have is my little black soul. Because if you cannot take a stand on black suffering when you don't have power, when you have power, there is no guarantee that you will use governmental power to put an end to it. We are in trying times. This is election year. But I'm saying, as I've said, this election for black people is a referendum on the black condition. Yes, it's about wages. Yes, it's about governance. Yes, it's about constitutional reform. Yes, it's about corruption. Yes, it's about all of those things. But those things are what we call the soft targets. The hard target is what it is to be black and human in Guyana. What the lack of wages, what police brutality, what corruption, what all of those things have done to the African soul. That's what I am talking about. Yes, I know I frustrate some of you who are straight institutionalists. And you want to talk about the vote and you want to talk about all these things. And Dr. Hines always talk about dignity and soul and so on. You see, if you are thinking about that little girl and so many other little girls that are being sacrificed. If you are thinking about those 2 little boys at Linden, if you are thinking about those teachers who are being denied a living wage, if you're thinking about the poor and the powerless, when you sit down at that table to work out a coalition, your first line of action can never be how you're going to share up the seats and who's going to be presidential candidate. Your first line of action is them, those little souls. Y'all can bet your dollar. I am saying I am. The people who I associate with are not perfect. The party that I associate with is not perfect. But when we sit at that table, if they admit us to the table, we are taken to that table. The concerns about that little girl, that little black soul. And we are not calling it a Guyanese soul. We are going to say, Aubrey, Nigel, that little black soul, you can, all your nose, that's you. But I am telling you, that's not just a Guyanese soul, that's a little black soul. We're going to talk about who gets which ministry. We have to talk about that. We're going to talk about who is going to be the first among equals. We're going to talk about that. But in 2025, 2 black men who have, according to the media and the opinion shapers, who have the destiny of black people in their hands, start their conversation not with the condition of black people, but with some seat, some denial of blackness. That's my problem with my brothers, you know. It is not that one shouldn't talk about who can run which ministry, but if you are there representing, first and foremost, the majority of people who will make it possible for you to become president and minister, and you don't start by talking about them, then you are betraying them from the beginning. And I know the Aubrey people would say, but Dr. Hines, Aubrey has been reasonable. And you all know I have said that publicly. And you all will tell me to cuss Nigel because he's been unreasonable. And I say that even if Nigel is being unreasonable, I'm not going to cuss him. I'm going to point out to Nigel, Nigel, you're playing with black people's future. I'm not going to cuss him. I'll say, Nigel, think about that little girl. Nigel, you came from where that little girl come from. Your father and your mother may have come out long before my father and my mother. But all of us came from there, and there's a connection between you and her. And as our Indian brothers and sisters will say, this time a long time. This is not just about who becomes president or who is electable. It's not just about that, my brother, my brothers. It is about the dignity and the survival of little black souls. the burden to say these things has fallen, unfortunately, on people like myself. This is not what I asked for in life. I didn't. I didn't. I would love to put on my suit and tie and stand before you and say, what Nigel say? Hope is on life support or whatever thing. I would love to do that. I would love to stand before you as a star and say, I want to be the presidential candidate. But history places certain burdens on some of us. And I recognize that there are some things that are not being said. Everyone comes and talk about the bridges and the roads and all these nice things, but they don't talk about the black souls. And these are black people. They come from America. And they don't talk about the black souls. They don't talk about that little child. The poet Martin Carter said, I come from the nigger yard of yesterday, leaping from the oppressor's hate and the scorn of myself. I turn to the world of tomorrow with my strength. Leaping I come, who cannot see will hear. Leaping I come, who cannot see will hear. You're going to hear them talk about the hotel that burned down, and we mustn't destroy property. In the midst of lives being snuffed out, Guyanese people are happy, black people are happy. They're moving away from David Hines and Vincent Alexander and the rest of them. They're happy. But they're same happy people, they will curse them for venting their anger on some concrete. I will never forget Gordon Greenidge, the West Indian opening batsman. Said his family moved from Barbados to America, to England in 1965. And as a child, he experienced racism. He called all kinds of things. He didn't understand what it was. But as he got older, he understood what racism was. And he had a choice between playing for the West Indies and playing for England. And he chose to come back to the West Indies and play for the West Indies. And he said, all the racism that I encountered as a child, I sometimes want to take it out on people, but I can't do that. And so he said, I decided that I'm going to take it out on 5.5 ounces of leather. He said, that's where my aggression came from. That with a bat in my hand, I'm taking it out on 5.5 ounces of leather, because the law says I can't take it out on white people. I can't go around the place killing people, but I'm going to beat that leather. I'm going to beat that ball. Can't want it in bacon cake. You can't want to oppress people, anger them, and then say they must suppress their anger. Black people are happy, aren't they? So why are you all concerned with the bun tire? The bun tire and bun road, 2 weeks in succession. You better take warning. You better take warning. You better do good. We have been warning this country. We have been warning this government. What you are doing to your people, especially the darkest of your people, is not sustainable. What they're going to do is that they're going to take Rickford Burke and David Hines and put us in Tushen and say, it's we. Eh? It's not the killing of the child. Oh, it's so unfortunate the little girl got killed. But it's Rickford Burke and David Hines who caused what happened. That's what they're going to do. Look out for it. Look out for it. People say, you know, David, you better be careful. Do not predict what will happen because they will say it's you cause it. Rafi Dev already tell the PPP that David Hines and the WPA are socializing black people for post-election violence. They're on record as saying that. I don't know whether there will be post-election violence. I'm not an Obia man. I wish I had Obia powers. Because Obia mean healing. I wish I had powers to heal. I don't know whether there'll be post-election violence. What I do know is that if you continue to kill black children on a daily basis like you're doing, if you force them against the backdrop of their suffering to go to an election which you are rigging against them, there will be post-election violence. I can tell you that. And I don't know that because I'm an Obia man. I know that because I've read books and I've studied places where those things were done. And you're already seeing the post-election violence because of the violence that you visit on them. You kill their sons at Linden. That has to do with elections. Because you want the police to help you to rig the election and to beat black people in their heads and their faces if they do anything about it. So you permit the police to kill those 2 boys in Linden. So when the people react to that, that's already post-election violence. The action of the people is not violent. My brother Walter Rodney says, the violence of oppression and the violence of resistance to oppression can be the same thing. The violence of a man beating his woman every day cannot be equated to the violence of that woman one day decided I can take it no more and I'm going to fight back. It's two different things. The death of that man who killed those 3 women yesterday or whenever It's not the same deaths. Those 3 women were murdered. That man was not murdered. All of them died. But 3 of them were murdered. We're going to do the fast that Brother Kwayana called for. We're going to do it on Tuesday the 29th, next week Tuesday. And I want all of us, if we can fast for 5 hours or 6 hours or 24 hours or 2 hours, I want all of us to take a stand. You see, sometimes we underestimate the power of the spiritual. You know, we can call ourselves whatever we want. Some of us say we are atheists. Some of us say we are believers. I don't business with people, belief and all that. But we are a spiritual people, all of us, of every race. And we, the Africans, had it not been for the spirit, had it not been for the belief that when we die, our souls will travel under the Atlantic and go back to Africa. It is that spirituality that inspires us to say, carry me back to my country. Carry me back home. When me come, me not come with belly. Now you send me back with belly. Africa, I want to go back home. Africa, I say, a tired Rome. Just give me the plane passage so that I can go back home, go back to Africa to see my grandmother. It is that spiritualism that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about your God. Don't get me wrong. All of us, some of us get Anglican God, Catholic God, you know, Hindu God, this God. But all of us have a spirit. Bob Marley said, in every man's chest, there beats a heart. That's what I'm talking about. And sometimes we don't pay enough attention to the spiritual. We don't call on the spirit enough. We don't call on the ancestors enough. And so we're going to do that fast on Tuesday. It's Kwayana's call, but we have adopted it. And so from 12:01 on Tuesday to 12:01 on Wednesday a.m., we going to fast. To cleanse ourselves and to cleanse our country and our society. When our Asian brothers and sisters were preparing to launch that revolution in 1789, they held a voodoo ceremony to launch the attack. Let us fast as the beginning of this attack. Because we have to attack injustice to get justice. We have to attack racism to get racial equality and racial justice. We have to attack murder and the assassins. Martin Carter called them assassins of conversation. We have to attack the assassins of conversation so that we can have a conversation among ourselves and with our gods and our ancestors. Those who do not want you to speak, do not want me to speak. Do not want Rickford Burke to speak. Do not want Takuma Ogunse to speak. Do not want Mark Bishop, and do not want Sherrod Duncan and Paul Slow and those of us who are ringing the bell. They are the assassins of conversation. And we have got to assassinate the assassins. And we assassinate them with the spirit, with the soul. And the soul and the spirit must inspire the words of our mouth, the meditation of our hearts. Some of us have to be strong. Some of us have to be strong. We can't be weak in this time. There's a plan for us. There's a plan for you. Fill your belly tonight and kill you tomorrow. Ravi Dev said that. He gives the ideology to the PPP. He says it doesn't matter whether the PPP will kill you tomorrow. What matters is that they will fill your belly with some crumbs tonight. That man, an Indian man, sat there and said his religion teaches him that about black people. Because he dare not go to Indian people and tell them that. That's the end of the road with he and me. All you warn me. All you warn me. He will not have that opportunity to have a conversation with me on terms of equal humanity. Because he doesn't see me as an equal human. And Walter Rodney says, if you use my race to dehumanize me, I am going to use my race to humanize myself. Black people, black people, black people, African people, African people. That child was killed not because she was 11 years old. That child was killed not because she was a girl child. That child was killed because she was African. And if, as people are saying, it's about sacrifice, I say no more. Black people, the Haitian Revolution was started when a Jamaican African, or an African from Jamaica, swam from Jamaica to Haiti. His name was Bookman. Oh no, it was not Toussaint Louverture that started the revolution. It was Bookman, an African who swam from Jamaica. They caught Bookman in the mountains and they killed him. And Toussaint Louverture arose and led the revolution to victory. And when they tricked him onto a ship and killed him, murdered him, the Haitian people rose up again and said, this ain't done. And out of that came Dessalines. When the Toussaint fall, the Dessalines come. When Bookman fall, Toussaint come. When Toussaint fall, Dessalines come. And when Dessalines was assassinated, Henri Christophe took over. I'm saying to Aubrey, I'm saying to Nigel, Bookman, Toussaint, Dessalines, Christoph, we are all of them. And we need the spirit of all of those brothers, whatever you may think, whatever mistakes they made, and they made mistakes. Oh yes, Christoph, we can argue, made some mistakes, but that does not mean he's not a hero. Tomorrow, we may be on, we may not be on. It depends on how things play out. I'm going to spend the weekend with other members of the family, with Brother UC. We're going to try to come on tomorrow. But if you don't come on, I'm not slacking. I'm going to spend the weekend with Baba. To renourish and replenish. And to draw from him the nourishment that we need in this time. We're going to overcome. I'm not a messenger of doom and gloom. I'm a messenger of liberation and freedom. But we have to articulate the doom and the gloom, not to say that we were born to be doomed. We were born to be free. See us as messengers of freedom. See us as purveyors of dignity. See us as ultimately dancing to the rhythm of the ancestors. We were born to be free, and we will be free. Serve warning on those who stand in the way of that freedom. Yangadona, Yangadona. Oh, when you see Yangadona with your red, green, and gold, you better clear the way lest she pass. Oh, Yangadona, Yangadona, you better clear the way lest she pass. And if you see Yangadona with your red, green, and gold, you better clear the way lest she pass. Those who stand in the way of African freedom, know that you are in danger. Because the spirit of Yangadona is going to guide us as we move forward. Get out of the way. If you place yourself in the way, you're in danger. I've got a sword in my hand. Help me to use it well. You all know that? Those of you all who are Shango people, David Rudder put in song, I got a sword in my hand. Help me to use it well. Martin Carter put it in poem. He said, the sharp knife of dawn glitters in my hand, but how bare is everything. Tall, tall trees, infinite air, the unrelaxed intention of the world, and the hope only. The kind eagle soars and wheels in flight. I've got a sword in my hand. Help me to use it well. The knife of dawn glitters in my hand, If they charge me tomorrow, the ERC, for violence, they got to charge David Rudder, they got to charge Martin Carter, they got to charge all of those, whether them is large man or large woman. I've got a sword in my hand. Help me to lose it well. The sword of justice. The sword of justice. Sword of freedom. God and the ancestors has gifted us with the power of the word. Those who were Christian in the beginning, there was the word. And the word will set us free. And some of them are so fearful of the word. As my brother Terence said, the word sometimes could be jarring. I don't give one damn. I want to disturb my neighbor. I want to jar them. The words could be jarring, Terence, I know, but that's my intention. I want to disturb my neighbor. If I can't sleep, you can't sleep. If I can't be free, you cannot be free. You cannot be free to kill my children. I've got a sword in my hand. Help me to use it well. We shall meet. All of us will meet on that beautiful shore because we are destined to go there. All of us, African, Indian, Indigenous, Amerindian, Chinese, Portuguese, white people, all of us are destined to that shore. But if you are going to stand in my way of meeting on that shore, then you're in trouble. Because I've got a sword in my hand and I'll use it well. And I've been using it tonight. And I will use it every night. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll be able to take a little time off from Baba and continue this conversation because this conversation ought to be continued. As you know, on Fridays, I'm joined by Brother Wayne Caesar and Good Soldier and Brother Brother Adams, Vincent Adams. So we should be on tomorrow night. We should be on tomorrow night. We most likely will be on tomorrow night. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all.